Hey guys, it's Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Green Lantern issue 5, so let's see what's going on in this issue. Let's talk about the cover first. I really enjoyed the cover, really liked the art for it, really liked the colors for it. I thought the reds in the background and all the greens, it really matched perfectly. And I always love Green Lantern art just because of all the colors and how it clashes together. And I really liked the art for this cover. And the concept of the cover, of course, beating Sinestro's core and Sinestro and Hal working together. So let's see what's going on in this issue and see if the story was as good as the cover. So we begin where we left off. Sinestro and his people of his planet, the people of his planet really hating on him because Sinestro was pretty much a dictator and they don't like that. So it's like, so they have the power of the Green Lantern rings. Because in the last issue we have Sinestro giving them Green Lantern rings. That way maybe they could defeat the Sinestro Corps. And they pretty much stab him in the back and say, you were a dictator to us, we should use these rings to destroy you instead of destroying your core. Who cares about that? That's helping you. We should destroy you instead. And then Hal overhears about this. He says, I hate the guy also. So I'm helping him just that way we could destroy the Sinestro Corps and maybe have peace on your world. So if I hate this guy and I can work with him, I think you guys can too. And they said, all right, we'll work with him. So they're pretty much a distraction for Hal and Sinestro to get the Green Lantern to work. So this is the way for the Green Lantern to work. And they're just trying, the Sinestro's people of his planet are just trying to distract them, the Sinestro Corps, and fight them because there's so many of them, as Sinestro and Hal have other plans. So let me try to show you a scene of that. So they had to bring the Green Lantern, which Hal was supposed to do issues ago, but he got captive. This whole entire thing happened, and they all got captive. So now they had to bring it to the middle of the Sinestro Corps' lantern. So they bring it to the middle of the lantern, and they save the day. Sinestro Corps is pretty much destroyed, at least who's on Sinestro's planet. And they are all unconscious. They're not dead, but they're unconscious. However, they're in a state that they won't be bothering anybody. So that's pretty much how the issue ends, but there was a little bit Sinestro and Hal talk, and they're like, oh, so I did you this favor, can I keep the Green Lantern ring? Where's my lantern? And he says, my thing was that you could keep your Green Lantern ring. I never said you could get a lantern, have power. So really, Sinestro pretty much betrayed Hal and sent him back to Earth. And now Hal still has a problem of not being a Green Lantern. So he, in his mind, when Hal crashes down Earth, literally, he says, so what do I do now? I love being a Green Lantern. That's all I want. And then he says, that's not all I want. I want Carol. When I was dying, that's what I thought about, was Carol. So he goes to Carol and says, when I was dying, I thought of you. Could you give me a second chance? And Carol pretty much does give him a second chance. And that's pretty much how this issue played out. And for me, I thought it was a pretty solid issue. I enjoyed the issue. I can't wait to see how Hal will become a Green Lantern again, because obviously he will be. But how will it happen, we don't know. Because he's gonna have to make some plan with Sinestro, another plan with Sinestro, because he's not gonna last not being a Green Lantern and being normal. That's not gonna happen. But the one thing I didn't like, well, there's a couple of things I didn't like in this issue, was that this whole entire 5 issues been playing out of this battle against Sinestro Corps. So big, so so big they've been playing this Sinestro Corps battle out. It is a Sinestro Corps. They're not weak core. They are strong. So why was it so easy to defeat them in this issue? I felt like right when they got out of the jail, they're like, we have to do this. Let's get the lantern. It was just too easy, I felt like. And maybe they could have made it last a little longer. They could have fought some Sinestro Corps people. But they didn't really fight anybody. They made the people of the planet fight them. And we didn't really get to see that big battle that I was expecting. But still, I really like the story of it. Sometimes when you have those big battles, you forget, well, at least the writers forget to have that big story. And I'm glad that they didn't forget the story, because there was a lot of story in this. Again, with that cliffhanger with Carol, actually, I really liked that. In the end, Carol and Hal, they got back together. Hopefully, this is the last time they have to get back together, and probably gonna break up anyways. But hopefully they don't break up. I think they're a great couple, and Faith always brings them back together. So hopefully we get to see them back together. The one problem I had with that scene actually was that it felt too easy that she brought him back. You know, this whole again with these whole entire 5 issues, she's been saying, Hal, I don't like you. You know, you always push me aside. You all these little things to say, no, I don't want you, Hal. You don't know how to be normal and all those things. But it's so easy for Hal to come back to Carol. So that one line saying, when I was dying, I thought of you, I felt like he should have explained that a little bit more also. Saying, you know, I almost died. Explain the whole entire detail. Maybe that's how she could accept him. But he said it so not in detail, and she just accepted him. You thought about me. Yay! Second chance. So I just felt like it could have been a little bit harder to get them back together. Again, love that they're back together, but maybe it should have been a little less easier to get them back together. Other than that, I really did enjoy this issue. I'm excited to see what happens with Sinestro next, because this whole story arc is over. He got kicked off his planet, so where is he gonna go next? I think something that would be really cool if he like stays on Earth or something. I mean, I don't think that would happen, but it'd be an interesting story to tell if he stayed on Earth. I mean, something should bring him to Earth, because he's not just gonna say, "I'm gonna stay on Earth." You know, I don't have any other home planet. He's not gonna say that. I think there should be a mission on Earth, and maybe he has to stay there for a little while and be human somehow, which is not gonna happen since he doesn't really look human. But I just would like to see him on Earth for a little while. I think that could be an interesting story. But again, I thought this was a pretty solid issue. Good things have happened, and it was an interesting story arc for these 5 issues and bringing Sinestro and Hal together. And can't wait for next stories. This is one of my favorite series, and I give this 4 stars. Pretty solid issue. Really like the art and everything. The battles, you know, the art for the battle, the one-page battle. But great art, and can't wait for the next issue. 4 stars. And I hope you enjoyed. This was Comic Uno. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. In the description below, there will be a link for that. I'll be just telling you guys comic book news, comic book reviews. I'm going to be doing topic videos. So follow me on Twitter. And in the description below, there will also be a link for my other Twitter, The Rant Situations, which is for my other YouTube channel. So I hope you enjoyed. I say pick this up. It was a pretty solid issue, and there's some great stuff that happened in this issue. And I think the next issue and the next story arc will be even better, hopefully at least. So this is Comic Uno. See you guys.